It has been a long time since I walk around a random area to take picture, and here I am. To give you some life updates, also I'm moving again from my previous flat to another one. Yep, this is London's life, you never know where you are going to end up. But that's fine, I guess. It's life, no? I decided to walk around the new area that I'm going to move. And it's a very quiet and area residential if you want to. And even if I live around here since like 6 months, I thought that I really didn't take any tour or walking around, and this was a good day to start doing it. I started in this little garden, and as you can see, I was a little bit rusty. I was not really sure what I was going to shoot all day, to be honest, so I decided to start in nature because it's always a good point of start, to be honest. And I like see flowers and leaves and details like that, so I thought, yes, let's do it. Also, I've decided to use a different lens to my favorite one, 35mm for Fujifilm, and I'm using a 23mm 1.2. I purchased this one on eBay. It was such a bargain, to be honest. And if you are into street photography, apparently everyone really suggests you to use this kind of lens because it gives you like a more vision about what is happening around you. And it's true. You will see through this video that because this area was without many people, maybe it was not the right lens to use, but also because it was so different from the 35, I thought it was a very good exercise to start understanding the distance. This is one of the main issues, especially when you change or you're so used to a lens, when you change it to another one, because everything, guess what, change. And I was like, oh my god, now I need to be very close to subjects. It's a little bit scary at the very beginning, but I guess it's a work in progress studies, I think. I don't know yet. Also, another thing that I noticed with this lens is like it really works well when you shoot from the hip, and it's something again that I need to learn to do much more. But let's go back to this walk. The previous picture, you see that I photograph basically details, and I think the main theme of the day was pattern in the end. This is the only person that I saw during my walk, and yeah, here you can see how wide is the 23mm. And yeah, so basically I was thinking more like, oh, let me explore more pattern and more shadow and reflection on the surface. The day before was also raining, so it was basically great to have a different color and contrast between elements. So I thought, okay, let's try. Today is experimenting day. Let's try everything that is different from usual, and not just like taking picture of people or just building. Let's try something completely different. Some of these pictures are alright. I don't think they are masterpiece at all, but the process, I think, was the most important thing. First of all, because I went out of the house to have this little stroll during the last glimpse of summer in the UK, and secondly because again it was more challenging and more also like basically doing this kind of exercise really pushed me to think more and to analyze better the surroundings and the elements around me. This part, I really love it. Look at the contrast of the elements with the bricks and the leaves. That was amazing. I really love it. It's like, I know that this picture could be shot everywhere in the world. We could be in a very small town, or we can be, I don't know, in New York. It doesn't matter. I don't know, it was so poetic at the moment when I did it, and I still like it. I think it's the contrast between it's not concrete, but with the bricks, so something built and something that is that can disappear, like the circle of life of the leaves. Maybe I went too deep in this thinking, but you know, I really like to go deep in conversation and in photography especially. Here is another example with this blue sky and the contrast with the barbed wire, and I think the message is quite clear, like hope and freedom and something like that, but also the barbed wire bring back us to reality. Yay! Now I was walking towards a part that I was thinking it should have more people, but guess what? It was not happening. But it was okay, to be honest. Like I was not searching for people. If I want to do that, I will definitely go in central London, not in the suburban area of London. Here I saw this lady going towards a car. I was like, I'm gonna shoot her, let me prepare. But I guess I got very nervous because I have to shoot from the hip. She was looking at me. I don't want to disturb people when they're doing their thing. And so I was like, oh no, let's give me the time. And oh yeah, I also photographed this pond because of the reflection and the texture and the pattern. And going back to the topic of shooting people, like I know that like is very against street photography. Like if you're not close enough, the picture is not good enough, no? But I really value personal space. I really don't want somebody jumping in front of me and taking a picture where I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to be invasive in the space. I think it's kind of an aggression, to be honest. So I want to respect some kind of distance. I think actually, like, even if everybody seems very keen on like 23mm, I get it. But I think because of my way of seeing the relationship between me and the space, sometimes I think I need a longer lens. And at the beginning I feeling very ashamed, to be honest, because I was like, oh my god, all the people, what are they gonna think about me? And you know what, I don't care. Like everybody is doing something for their own pleasure, so it doesn't really matter. Again, rule exists in photography, we all know that, and well, we are also free to experiment. I don't have like an assessment to give or an essay to write about, nothing about that. It's more about exploration and like doing stuff that gives us pleasure and learn from our mistakes. And also, by the way, so later that is one of my favorite street photographer, apparently he used also zoom lenses because he liked to observe the character that he was photographing from a distance. So I'm feeling very close to him right now. It makes more sense. I think my vision of photography is more close to the painting of opera. I'm observing the reality from a certain distance. I'm part of it, but also I create distance between me and the observer and who is going to observe the picture itself. But because it is a common, there are common elements that we all know, that we can all recognize, there's still communication and not big distance. Again, I went a little bit on a tangent with my thinking, but it's nice to say it loud and not just in my head. Oh, finally, I went also to this park that I just saw on my Google Maps, but it's the first time that I'm actually walking there, and there were so many dogs. I was so happy and like, oh, finally. Oh, in this picture you can see, I really wish to have a zoom because there's a person at the bottom of this, like, let's call it tunnel, but it was nice because of the contrast. Same here, the 23 3mm here worked very well. I have to crop the picture because there was the bean basically visible, and I really didn't like it because the attention went to the bean and not to the dogs that were walking. So I was like, no. Here I also try to do some kind of shooting from the hip, but it did not really end up to have nothing okay. That was very blurry. So again, that's why I need to learn more about shooting from the hip, the timing, the distance, to really understand what's going on with this lens. I will be very confident with the 35 to do it, but this lens is too new, so we are still in our first stage of our relationship. We still need to understand each other, but I think we're gonna go back soon. I hope, to be honest. And here there's another case where I try to shoot from the hip, because there were like a few people around this point. Of course they were far, and I don't want to basically get seen. I like here the composition a lot, and here there was another guy with his bicycle, but again, like, I think I'm too shooting from at the high, it didn't really work that well. And here I'm really approaching something that I thought was extremely creepy, and yeah, you will see the picture. I don't think the pictures are great to be honest, but it was so creepy in the silence of the park, where you can only hear maybe green birds. There was this little a horse, but it looked like vintagey from the past century, and it was so weird to be there alone, so abandoned, like reminiscence of childhood, but also of the past century. So it was interesting. Maybe I should take more detail, because I think it would be much creepier, to be honest. But yeah, I was satisfied. Yeah, so many dogs, as I told you. I was so happy. If I could just take picture of dogs of all day approaching me, let me sign in. I will be so happy. That's my pet therapy. Look at me, like in the screen of the camera, being so happy. That was a very good moment. This little doggy was around me a lot of the time, so I was very happy. Oh, here I saw this tennis court. I thought, I don't know why I'm really attracted by tennis court. I think it's the contrast in the color between the green and normally the blue. And I decided to try to do different type of shoot, also to test the lens. And as you can see, more details of this net, but also actually through the net. And yeah, there's nothing special in these two pictures, but it is more I think in this absence of humanity, it makes the picture looks like a little bit weird. A lot of people normally, when they look at my picture, they say, oh my god, they make me a little bit anxious, and I'm like, okay. I personally don't feel anxious when I'm shooting this type of picture. Actually, I'm feeling very, very calm and very happy. So I found very interesting how the perception change between people and everyone, how they think about it. At this point, the weather started to change. I know that you can still see some blue sky, but it was actually not that blue, and I was like, oh, it's gonna start raining soon. I was very indecisive where I would like it to go, if I wanted to go, let's say, forward, or something to move around a little bit more and to go back to my place. In this area there were more people, again more people, I mean 3 maybe. And it's another occasion that I wish I had a zoom lens, because of this guy walking with the dog. I think it would be much better, because here he is completely lost. I like the symmetry. He is basically almost at the center of the composition, but still I think I would like to be much closer. But he was walking quite fast. There were no way I could be closer to him and to the dog. So yeah, that's what happened. Then again, I was more into pattern, and this I think garage door really attract me. And I don't know, there is also a little snail on the left corner, and I thought, oh, that's cute. So I basically decided to take the picture over there. And then I started basically going back because of the rain approaching, and like it was time. Here there is a little dog, as you can see. Again, another good occasion to having maybe a zoom lens, but still it's exercise. I thought, yeah, why not? Let's go out just with one lens. I didn't even have a bag with me, to be honest. I didn't have any backup. It was basically spontaneous walking around without many expectation, just walk and let's do this kind of exercise, since it was like a very long time that I'm not doing just something like this just for myself. And at the end of the day, I really enjoy doing this kind of exercise. It really brings me a lot of serotonin, even if maybe I'm looking like, oh, what can I shoot, what is good. But at the very end of the day, actually, just to be outside in nature, or not nature in this case, just being outside with the camera and try different thing was like a very good mood booster, to be honest, after all the days of moving and packing. Like, I really need it. Oh, here is the first cat, and I was like, oh, let me take the picture with the phone because the camera is not enough, no? But then I also decided to take the chance with the camera. There was also a massive spider around, and I was like, I don't wanna be here now, but that's all. I tried also to photograph this bicycle. No, the result was not good. It was too blurry. The composition was completely nonsense. And I was like, no, I will not include this horrendous picture in this video. I'm sorry. But as you can see, like, that is like, this is basically a honest walking around. You can see maybe from at the end of the video you can tell me how many pictures you will think they are okay. I think 2, to be honest, and I think it's a great result for I think I walked 25 minutes or something like that. It's an okay result, to be honest. Here also start the rain, and also I was almost get hit by a bike. But by the way, if you're not familiar with UK weather, when it starts to rain, sometimes it starts like a storm. Basically, there's so much water all around, and I was like, I'm not gonna take the risk. Basically, I ended up my day shooting a pattern on the floor with like the little dots made by the rain, and I thought it was nice. And that's the end of my walking. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comment section below if you like this type of video when I basically rambling about photography and explaining maybe my creative process and something like that. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.